Some empires fell slowly. Others were pushed off a cliff by one spectacularly bad ruler. These are 10 times a single monarch managed to ruin everything their ancestors spent centuries building. Nicholas II, Russian Empire. Nicholas II became Tsar in 1894 and almost immediately proved he was out of his depth. He believed Russia didn't need reform because God had already approved his resume. The problem was that factories were exploding, peasants were starving, and socialism was spreading faster than the secret police could arrest people. His first disaster came in 1904 when he picked a war with Japan. He expected an easy win. Instead, Russia's navy was annihilated at Tsushima. The empire was humiliated, protests erupted, and Nicholas was forced to pretend he believed in reform. He created a parliament, then ignored it. Then came World War I. In 1915, Nicholas made everything worse by taking personal command of the army. Every defeat now had his signature on it. Back home, his wife and Rasputin ran the government into the ground. By 1917, bread riots became revolution. Nicholas abdicated. His family was executed. 3 centuries of Romanov rule ended because one man refused to live in the real world. Louis XVI, French Empire. Louis XVI didn't destroy France out of cruelty. He did it through hesitation. He inherited a bankrupt kingdom and responded by doing almost nothing at exactly the right moments. He funded the American Revolution to hurt Britain and accidentally bankrupted himself in the process. France went abroad and collapsed at home. The system was rigged. Nobles paid no taxes, commoners paid everything. When Louis finally tried to fix this, the nobles panicked and forced him to summon the Estates General in 1789. That meeting cracked the state open. Louis wavered, delayed, and let radicals seize control. Even then, he could have survived as a constitutional king. Instead, he tried to flee. When caught, the illusion shattered. In 1793, the guillotine fell. The monarchy died not from rage, but from indecision. Honorius, Western Roman Empire. Honorius became emperor in 395 AD, which should have been alarming immediately. He was a child, terrified of responsibility, and never grew into the job. While enemies closed in, Honorius hid in the marshy fortress of Ravenna and let court gossip guide imperial policy. His fatal mistake came in 408 AD. His best general, Stilicho, was the only man holding the empire together, loyal, competent, and experienced. So Honorius had him executed after being told Stilicho might be dangerous. With that single order, Rome lost its last functioning defense. 2 years later, in 410 AD, the unthinkable happened. Rome was sacked for the first time in 800 years. Honorius reportedly panicked, not over the city, but because he thought someone had killed his pet chicken named Rome. Britain was abandoned, Gaul collapsed, authority evaporated. Honorius didn't lose the empire in battle. He simply stopped governing, and the Western Roman Empire bled out around him. Muhammad II, Khwarazmian Empire. Muhammad II ruled one of the richest empires on earth in 1218 and destroyed it by being personally insulted. When Genghis Khan sent a massive trade caravan west, Muhammad's governor murdered the merchants and stole their goods. Genghis politely asked for an apology. Muhammad responded by killing one Mongol diplomat and shaving the beards of the others. This was not bravery, it was suicide. Genghis Khan redirected his entire war machine toward Muhammad's empire with one goal: erase it. City after city fell. Bukhara, Samarkand, Merv, slaughtered into legend. Muhammad fled non-stop, chased by Mongol scouts across his own collapsing realm. He died alone on an island in the Caspian Sea. His empire vanished. His pride didn't just lose a war, it wiped Central Asia off the map for a century. John Lackland, Angevin Empire. John became king in 1199 and immediately lived up to his nickname. He inherited the Angevin Empire, stretching from England to southern France, and managed to lose almost all of it through paranoia, cruelty, and incompetence. French King Philip Augustus ran circles around him. By 1204, Normandy was gone. England's continental empire collapsed in real time. Instead of fixing anything, John squeezed his own barons for money, issuing absurd fines and arbitrary punishments. He even managed to get himself excommunicated, shutting down churches across England. That takes talent. By 1215, the barons had enough. They marched on London and forced John to sign the Magna Carta. John immediately tried to ignore it, triggering a civil war. He died in 1216 while a French prince occupied London. John didn't just lose territory, he permanently weakened royal authority in England and handed history a document kings would regret forever. Muhammad Shah, Mughal Empire. Muhammad Shah took the Mughal throne in 1719 and treated it like a front-row seat to a concert. Nicknamed Rangila, the pleasure-loving one, he preferred poetry, music, wine, and court parties to running one of the richest empires on earth. While he entertained himself, governors quietly stopped sending taxes. Provinces drifted away. The center hollowed out. Then disaster knocked. In 1739, Nader Shah of Persia invaded. Muhammad Shah's army was larger, but useless. After one short battle, Delhi was wide open. When riots broke out, Nader Shah ordered a massacre and looted the treasury. He left with the Peacock throne and the Koh-i-Noor dome. Enough wealth to cancel Persian taxes for years. The Mughal Empire survived on paper, but its power was gone. Muhammad Shah didn't lose it in battle. He let it rot until someone else came to collect it. Sebastian I, Portuguese Empire. Sebastian I became king young and decided destiny had personally chosen him to relive the Crusades. In 1578, against every warning he received, Sebastian dragged Portugal's army into the Moroccan desert to fight a war nobody needed. He had no heir, no exit plan, and no understanding of modern warfare. The result was the Battle of Alcácer Quibir, also known as the Battle of the Three Kings. Portugal was annihilated. Sebastian vanished, presumed dead, and Portugal lost most of its nobility in a single afternoon. The myth that he would return only delayed the inevitable. With no king and no army, Portugal fell into a succession crisis. By 1580, Spain took control. For 60 years, Portugal was ruled from Madrid, while its global empire was stripped apart by rivals. Sebastian didn't just die, he took Portugal's independence with him. Charles I, British Empire. Charles I believed kings answered only to God, which was a bold strategy in a country with parliament. For 11 years, he refused to call it, ruling alone while inventing unpopular taxes like ship money. People who refused to pay were jailed without trial. Charles saw this as divine authority. Everyone else saw it as tyranny. When Scotland rebelled against his religious reforms, Charles ran out of money and was forced to recall Parliament. Instead of negotiating, he tried to arrest MPs inside Parliament itself. That single move lit the fuse. England collapsed into civil war. Charles lost, lied during peace talks, and lost again. In 1649, Parliament tried and executed him for treason. England abolished the monarchy. A king who claimed to rule by God ended up proving that power came from consent, not heaven. Enver Pasha, Ottoman Empire. Enver Pasha wasn't born a sultan, but he might as well have been. He ran the Ottoman army like it was his personal ego project. Young, ambitious, and obsessed with glory, Enver believed he could resurrect the empire through war. So in 1914, without full government approval, he dragged the Ottomans into World War I by attacking Russian ports. The empire was already called the sick man of Europe. Enver decided the cure was jumping off a cliff. His masterpiece of failure was the Sarikamish campaign. Enver marched an army into the Caucasus Mountains in winter, with no supplies and no plan. Nearly 60,000 soldiers froze to death before even fighting the enemy. It crippled the Ottoman military overnight. Meanwhile, paranoia and brutality at home helped trigger the Armenian genocide, tearing the empire apart internally. By 1918, defeat was inevitable. The empire was carved up by foreign powers, ending 600 years of Ottoman rule. Enver fled, chased dreams elsewhere, and died forgotten. One man's delusions turned an empire into a map for others to divide. Puyi, Qing Dynasty. Puyi didn't destroy an empire with arrogance or cruelty. He did it with weakness, nostalgia, and terrible timing. Crowned Emperor of China in 1908 at just 2 years old, Puyi ruled nothing. The Qing dynasty was already collapsing under corruption, foreign humiliation, and rebellion. In 1912, the empire ended, and Puyi became a ghost king, still living in the Forbidden City, pretending history hadn't moved on. Instead of accepting reality, Puyi chased his lost crown. In 1934, he made the fatal choice. He accepted Japan's offer to rule Manchukuo, a puppet state built on invasion and terror. Puyi wore imperial robes again, but held zero power. Every order came from Japanese generals. His throne was a stage prop. When Japan lost World War II, Puyi lost everything. Captured, re-educated, and reduced to a gardener, he became the final humiliation of 2,000 years of emperors. His desperation didn't save the empire. It erased its dignity forever. In the end, empires didn't always fall to enemies with time. Sometimes they collapsed because one person had the crown, the power, and absolutely no idea what they were doing.